Hi, and welcome back. I'm Fabian, and if you're watching this as part of the Mental Hygiene Resilience series, or you're just finding this video on your own, I'm really glad that you're here today. Before we begin, I want you to know that there are some other videos in this series that kind of walk through some calming techniques, such as 478 breathing or some acupressure spots. You're welcome to check those out. And there's also some tools that we use like rescripting and rehearsing or bilateral stimulation. You're welcome to check those videos out kind of over here. You're welcome to check those out either before or after this one, whatever feels most supportive for you. But for today, go ahead and grab a piece of paper and something to write or draw with. This is a gentle, reflective practice. We're going to be using a simple hand tracing to explore something powerful. As you're getting that ready, I want to be very clear again, this is intervention education. This is not psychotherapy. We're going to be focusing on mild everyday stressors, and these tools are here to help support your mental hygiene and resilience, not to replace professional mental health care. If you're looking for a therapist, I recommend visiting psychologytoday.com. Their search tool can help you find someone near you, see what insurance they take, and learn about the approaches that they use. So please take care of yourself and stay with what feels right to you. You're also welcome to share these tools with friends or other people that you trust and feel are supportive. All right, once you've gotten some paper, go ahead and we're going to trace the outline of our hand. We're going to just trace falling all the way down. If we haven't done this in a while, makes sense, right? Unless we have children in our lives in some ways. I can't really think about the last time we've traced our hand. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this image to help us answer a question that can bring a surprising amount of clarity, especially in the middle of stress. What is in my control and what's not? It's a simple question, but it can help your nervous system and help give you a starting point of where things feel uncertain. And so we're going to write on here on the outside, kind of outside my control. Right? And so kind of having what's outside my control. Sorry, I'm learning the camera here still. We're going to also be writing like what's inside my control. Great. And let's start with a few basic examples to kind of work up or warm up. Simple, very, very simple one is, can I control the weather today? Definitely not, right? But what I can control is what I wear. Or being prepared. Right. What about what someone else thinks or feels? So I'll put someone else's thoughts or feelings. Right? Their judgments, right? But what is in my control is how I react. What words I say, right? Or even what I don't say. Right? Let's see here. What about the way the world reacts to something? Or let's talk about the wars kind of going on. If we want to bring it a bit more larger scope, right? So we have international conflicts or war conflicts at a larger level. These things can be extremely distressing, right? Especially if they're showing up frequently in terms of media and what we see online. But it's also kind of, again, what goes in our control is both whether we have advocacy, if I advocate, or if I need space, right? Maybe I don't need to be on TikTok for 5 hours to watch and see all the horrors happening in the world. If I need a break, um, or limitations, right? If somebody is being persistently rude or demeaning, right? What's in my control there is going to be my boundaries. The best boundaries are set whenever somebody can't break them. What that means is literally removing ourselves from situations or making it where the other person can't really do anything about it. Um, a few other things to think about what's in our control is going to be, what I say yes or no to. If I'm engaging in self-care, maybe the tone that I use, right? Again, maybe what I do or the ways I think of myself. Also, yeah, we're also in control of our own emotions, right? We're all responsible for our own emotions. Sometimes they happen, we don't really understand them, but it's our job to figure it out. We're also responsible for our thoughts. Right? These are your anchors, where your power lives. We're going to take a breath now. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes for a moment. Or you can even look down, put your hand next to that piece of paper that you traced, and just imagine the things that are outside of your control, the ones you wrote around or outside the hand. Imagine that moving by like a breeze moving past. You might notice them, you don't hold on to them. Let them drift by. And now shift that focus inward, back to what's inside that hand. And for some folks, I can encourage you to even just hold or grab onto if we feel pulled to. And notice how good that feels. Notice your breath, your posture. Notice that. That's yours. And let it settle into your body. You can do some slow tapping. Just let all those positive shifts sink in. Anything that you notice. You can pause the video as you need to. All right. I started using this practice several years ago, particularly during the early days of the pandemic, working with kids or adults, and really a lot that was outside of our control at the time. And also during Hurricane Helene here in West North Carolina. A lot of clients, and not even clients, but working at, volunteering at the Ag Center and working with different folks there. I think this is a really good tool for us to be able to sit and reflect back into our own bodies and back into our own hearts and minds as to what we're able to work with. It's able, in those moments where it feels chaotic and unpredictable, to be able to come back to something simple and steady. It gave a sense of direction, not only because it didn't solve anything, right? But it reminded me that I still had choices in times where I felt that I had none. So even when things are hard, I could start with at least one small thing in my control and work up from there. Now, if you'd like to go deeper, you're welcome to think back to a moment where things recently felt overwhelming or stressful. You're welcome to bring that in mind gently and ask, what was in my control in that moment? Even if it was just your breath or the fact that you didn't react immediately. Right? That matters. This is a form of what DBT encourages, stepping back from a moment to notice it without judgment, and then choosing how we want to relate to it now. And that's what rescripting supports, giving your nervous system a chance to reinterpret that experience with new tools. Right? You can pause the video here to take a moment to really practice that skill for the past. Great. As you come back, think about those positive shifts that you notice. I'm just going to do some slow tapping. We're going to let that sink in. And now we're going to imagine something. If you need to pause for more time, you're welcome to. But now we're going to imagine something that might happen in the future. Maybe an interaction, a deadline, or a situation that feels really uncertain. It's right around the corner. What's one thing you'll remember to hold on to in that moment? Will it be your breath? Will it be your pause? Will it be your tone? Take a moment. You can close your eyes or cast your gaze down. But just imagine that now. Imagine putting those things into your hand that's in your control to things that aren't. Let them drift by like a breeze. Take a moment to practice that. And this is what we call rehearsing. Go ahead and practice that. As you come back, if you need to pause, you're welcome to. And as you come back, go ahead and notice those positive shifts. Kind of do some slow tapping to let that sink in, just to help the mind and the body prepare in advance, so your response becomes more familiar and more accessible when you need it the most. Thank you for spending this time with me today. This is a practice you can return to any time with your hand, breath, a reminder of what we do have power over. Because resilience isn't about controlling everything, right? It's about controlling, or rather recognizing, where our strength actually lives and responding from that place. I'm going to repeat that again. It's about recognizing. Resilience is about recognizing where our strength actually lives and responding from that place. My hope is that this tool might give you a little more access or clarity to respond from that place. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment if you have any comments. I'd be glad to hear them. Until next time, hope you take care. Thanks for sticking around. Bye.